Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about a power metal starter pack. So I just felt like talking about some power metal today because a lot of times on my channel, mostly for the most part on this channel, I gear more towards black metal, but I do like to throw in some power metal, traditional heavy metal. I like to touch on all the different genres. It's not just all about black metal, but I get a lot of comments sometimes saying like, oh, I wish you would just stick to black metal, maybe not so much power metal, etc. And I just kind of get the gist that maybe a lot of my viewers out there aren't really necessarily into power metal. So I thought I would do this video as kind of an introduction. If you're thinking of dipping your toes in and exploring some power metal, this will just be a good spot to start. So, if you already listen to power metal, this video probably will not be relevant for you at all because you're going to know all of these albums. I'm not going to be talking about like hidden gems or anything like that. I'm going to be just talking about 10 like pretty mainstream power metal albums that I think are a good way that if you're not sure if you're going to like power metal or not, or you're thinking of maybe trying to expand your horizons and get into it, go check out these albums. If you don't like any of them, chances are you're probably not going to like power metal as a whole, and this video will not change your mind, and that's totally fine, but I just thought this would maybe be a fun exercise to do. We'll see if anyone's even interested in watching this. Maybe I'll do a similar thing for some other subgenres as well. We'll see. So like I said, I just picked 10 albums today that kind of are like introductory power metal albums, if you will. Things that maybe could be a launching point to then explore your horizons, expand your horizons, and explore some other power metal from there. These aren't my 10 favorite power metal albums. They're not my 10 favorite power metal bands. Some of my favorite power metal albums are in here, but even from some of the bands I'm picking, I'm not necessarily picking my favorite album. I'm just kind of going with ones that I think would be a good starting point. So these aren't in any ranked order. I'm just picking 10 albums. I'm going to go chronologically from the date they were released. So I'm going to be talking about albums that were released from the late 80s all the way up to the early 2000s. 10 albums because I don't want to talk forever here. So let's just kick it off with actually one of my favorite power metal bands, and that is Helloween. I decided to go with Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2 here. Could have easily gone with Part 1, but I feel like this is a good introduction because it's got some great, like, catchy, maybe you could say accessible songs, such as I Want Out, maybe their most, like, commercially successful hit of all time, but there's got some great ripping fast songs on here as well. Great album art as well. Clearly I love the band. I have a Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 tattoo on my arm there, but yeah, just absolutely killer stuff. Eagle Fly Free, We Got the Right, Save Us, March of Time, of course I Want Out, and the highlight is the closing track, Keeper of the Seven Keys, the title track, 13-minute epic. But yeah, it's got the great operatic vocals. You could say Helloween arguably was one of the first like European power metal bands, really helped kick off the genre as a whole, so you couldn't really do any list like this without talking about Helloween. Which album you chose would be up to you, but if you haven't heard them before, go check out I Want Out. I think that's a good introductory European power metal song. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't. Sticking with Germany and with the same year, but I'm going to go more on the speed metal side of things. They did eventually kind of morph into more of a power metal band, but their early stuff was more speed metal. Here's when they really started getting into their pirate shtick, and that is Running Wild. Here I've got the album Port Royal. I've got the special re-release here with some bonus tracks. So yeah, Germany is going to pop up quite often on this list today. I feel like Germany is just the best country for power metal. They've got so many killer bands, Running Wild being one of them. So if you think maybe Helloween is not for you because maybe it's a little too happy sounding, this maybe would be a little bit of a different shade of power metal. The riffs are a little more aggressive. It's got a little more speed to it, but this is still super catchy and fun. You got songs like Conquistadors, come on, one of their best ever. The title track, Port Royal. This whole album is great. Every single song here really hits the mark. They're known for just writing amazing riffs. So if you just want some great guitar work with some catchy songwriting, look no further than Running Wild. Another great intro into some power metal. All right, I'm not going to stick with just Germany for the whole 10. Got to throw some US power metal in there as well. And here I'm going to talk about one of the biggest names in US power metal, and that is Manowar. Here I'm going with the album Kings of Metal. Not my absolute favorite Manowar album, but I feel like as an introduction to power metal, this might be the one that would be a good gateway. Some of their earlier stuff wouldn't necessarily even be classified as power metal, but this is still a solid album. I don't want to sound like I'm knocking it. I still dig it quite a bit. You've got just catchy ass songs like Wheels of Fire, Kingdom Come, Hail and Kill is absolutely amazing. And then you've got the typical power metal ballad like Heart of Steel. All in all, just a great album. Blood of the Kings is great as well. Eric Adams' vocals are awesome. Being the American side of power metal as opposed to the European side, it's a little grittier, I guess you could say, a little more power, I guess you could say. But yeah, you can't really talk about an introduction to power metal without at least mentioning Manowar. One of the best out there, and yeah, a solid album to check out if you are unfamiliar. All right, up next, we're going back to Germany, and we're into the 90s now, and we're going to talk about my favorite band of all time, from any genre, and my favorite album of all time, but I think is still the best album to maybe get your feet wet with this band. And of course, I'm talking about Blind Guardian with Imaginations from the Other Side. So, I mean, I could have picked any Blind Guardian album here. They started more in the speed metal vein, and then they started getting into becoming the power metal beasts that they are known for these days. And this album is really like a transitional album, bringing in some different influences, making it a concept story, and oh my god, this album is just amazing. Hansi Kirsch is probably my favorite vocalist of all time. Front to back, this album just absolutely kills it. You've got the typical ballad in A Past and Future Secret, but then you've got rippers like I'm Alive. Bright Eyes is great. Born in a Morning Hall, the closing duo of Another Holy War, and The Story Ends. Like, come on, this whole goddamn album, every single song. That's why it's my favorite album of all time. I can't, talk about power metal without talking about Blind Guardian. If you're going to take away one album from this whole list today, make it be this one. If you're not into it, hey, so be it. More power to you. Not all of our opinions are the same, but, yeah. Imaginations from the Other Side. You gotta go listen to that if you somehow have not yet. Alright, sticking with the same year from 1995, going with Gamma Ray and their album Land of the Free. So if you're unfamiliar with Gamma Ray, this is Kai Hansen, who had left Helloween to do his own thing. This is their fourth album, but it's the first one where he's doing lead vocals, and I think they're all the better for it. This is easily my favorite Gamma Ray album. And another one where just front to back, it's just German power metal magnificence. I know the 90s seem to get a lot of slack for not putting out necessarily as much good traditional heavy metal or power metal, but honestly, there's so many good power metal albums from the 90s, as you'll see, because I still have some more coming too. But the opening track here, Rebellion in Dreamland, absolutely amazing. Man on a Mission is great. Farewell actually features guest vocals from Hansi Kirsch. You also got some guest vocals from Michael Kiske from Helloween on Time to Break Free. This whole album is just amazing. Kai Hansen is one of my guitar heroes for sure, and I just love anything that he's involved with. And it won't be the last time I mention him today. Alright, let's switch completely now and move over to Finland, because you gotta talk about some Finnish power metal somewhere in here as well. So I'm gonna go with the biggest name probably in Finnish power metal, that being Stratavarius, here with their album Visions. This one is from 1997, I believe. This is their, I want to say, sixth album. I probably should have written that down, but I didn't make any notes today. I'm just kind of going with the CDs and off the top of my head. But yeah, Stratavarius, really known for Timo Tolkki's absolutely amazing guitar playing, just non-stop solos, super neoclassical influence, and then they also bring in keyboards that also have a neoclassical influence and can absolutely shred. So it's a unique combination that really works. Keyboards might not be for everyone with their power metal, but I think if you're gonna try one out, try out Stratavarius, because they just are the masters of this very specific style of power metal. You've got great songs on here like The Kiss of Judas. Before the Winter is a really cool ballad-esque song. You've got a nice instrumental like Holy Light. Vision Southern Cross is a great closer. All in all, just another solid album. All these albums I'm talking about are solid albums. I wouldn't be including them if they weren't, so never mind that. And speaking of moving to different countries here, we gotta have some Italian power metal, one of my favorite power metal bands of all time, and the premier name in symphonic power metal, Rhapsody. Of course, now being Rhapsody of Fire, but at the time they're still Rhapsody, here with Symphony of Enchanted Lands. So yeah, like I said, symphonic power metal. So another band that really features prominent keyboards and excellent neoclassical guitar playing by Luca Turilli, and then very operatic vocals by Fabio Leone. This is one of my favorite albums by them. Probably not my number one. That would be close, but check out that album art as well. Like, come on, you see that, you're gonna want to listen to this album. At least me, because I'm kind of a nerd. I see dragons on the cover. I'm like, yeah, let's see what that's all about. But yeah, this is just top-notch stuff for the style. Songs like Emerald Sword, Wisdom of the Kings, Eternal Glory. Like, every song here, once again, just a top-notch album. If you haven't heard Rhapsody, this is a good one that will just knock your socks off with the musical proficiency that's displayed on this album. All in all, once again, amazing stuff. Okay, I think I got 3 more. Yeah, that was 7 so far. I'm going to shift back to America this time with Iced Earth, an album, Something Wicked This Way Comes. So once again, probably not my number one favorite album by this band, but I feel like this is the best album to get into Iced Earth and to then maybe explore some of their other stuff. Their early albums were more in like the thrashy power metal kind of sound, but here they've really honed in their specific style of power metal. They've got a lot of ballads on this album, but also a lot of ripping guitar riffs. John Schaefer is known for his fast tremolo picking and his triplets. Not tremolo picking, I meant triplets. But yeah, great heavy songs like Burning Times. 1776 is a great instrumental. The closing trilogy here, Prophecy, Birth of the Wicked, and The Coming Curse. Just go listen to those 3 songs. That's really worth the price of admission for this album alone, is the Something Wicked trilogy to close out the album. Another one with great album art as well. But yeah, gotta listen to that album also. All right, now we're gonna move into the 2000s. I got a couple albums here. The first one, we're going back to Germany with Tobias Sammet's Avantasia with the Metal Opera Part 1. So I had to include this here, even though maybe some of the later day Avantasia stuff isn't always my cup of tea. There's always some good songs, but this album is top tier power metal. This is Tobias Sammet from the band Edguy. He went off and did his own thing, and he brought in just a flurry of guest vocalists here. You've got Kai Hansen making an appearance again. You've got Michael Kiske. You've got David DeVries. You've got so many others here. Yeah, Timo Tolkki is on here as well. Andre Matos from Angra. You've just, yeah, absolutely killer stuff. Reach Out for the Light, one of the best. Farewell, Avantasia, Sign of the Cross, The Tower. This whole album is goddamn amazing. If you like taking a journey with a bunch of different vocalists, like, it truly is a metal opera. Can't recommend this one enough to kind of get you kick-started on your power metal journey. And that just leaves one more. I'm going to go back to the States this time for this last one. This is some symphonic, progressive power metal with Camelot, and here the album Epica. So this is one of my favorite Camelot albums, not my number one favorite, but you've got the smooth vocals of Roy Khan. You've got the great guitar work from Thomas Youngblood, and this is another concept story. A lot of power metal albums are concept stories. It just suits the style of music very well, and this one tells a story very well. You've got great songs like Center of the Universe, Farewell, Edge of Paradise. You got a nice ballad like Wander. All in all, just a crazy good album. I know I'm just rambling here and kind of ripping through these pretty quickly, but I don't know, hopefully you were able to take something away from this video. If you're thinking about exploring power metal, go check out these 10 albums. I'm not expecting you to like all 10 of them, but if you can find 1 or 2 in there and that maybe might start expanding your horizons and check out some other power metal, some more underrated stuff, all the better. Then my mission is accomplished. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. This was just to try something different. If you enjoy it, great. If you don't, that's all good too. And anyways, until next time, Hammerheart Metal Reviews, out.